Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake Ellenbogen, and we're back with JE Live after a bunch of technical difficulties. Hell, I still think the stream isn't on the level that I want it to be. Having all sorts of bitrate issues, although it's calmed down considerably. Had the service provider come in and try to solve it. I don't know what's going on. I'll be real with you. Couldn't do Streamlabs because Streamlabs OBS because it's literally dog water. It was literally dropping like thousands of frames. Like, it was terrible. But I'm having some success with OBS. I do know it's going to drop a little bit. I don't know what to do, but I'm not going to stop streaming just because it's a little choppy. So, if we have to lower it to 30 FPS, we will. But I'm not going to stop doing this because I know there are people like waiting for me to go live, and it's late. It's 11 on the East Coast, not even. And, but I just really wanted to go live. It's been a minute, and, I had so much to talk about the other day. And I went to go live, and I just couldn't get on, I was having so many issues tech-wise, and it was just bothering the shit out of me. So, now we're here. So welcome. Hope everyone is having a splendid Thursday night. Yes, I am wearing a tank top because it's literally 100 degrees in my room. Sorry if it's not appealing. There's not really much I can do. Got the fan going on. Sorry if that's not appealing. I'm dying here, but we're gonna bring this thing moving forward. But appreciate you guys being here. We're gonna be talking about 3 topics, and then we're gonna be obviously doing the usual. It's an open forum. You know the drill. I mean, by now, if you've never been here before, welcome. Q&A style stuff. For a second, you thought it was Kwon Alexander. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about that, my friend. Ruiz. Hope all is well. I'm excited. I cover both teams. As you can see, I got the mini Jets helmet there. To kind of represent in the background. I also have the Super Bowl logo there. You could barely see it. Obviously, Spider-Man and Michael Myers. The Rams helmet. I mean, everyone does. So, yeah. Jake the Snake, what have you heard on Dodgers trades? Well, it's all over the place because the Dodgers look like they're in the sweepstakes for Soto. But then I keep seeing the Padres are the favorite. So, I'm not really sure where that goes. I think the Dodgers are definitely players at the deadline. When you look at all the injuries they've had, I could definitely see them going out and competing with the Yankees for Luis Castillo, although I feel like he'll end up with the Yankees. Whoever doesn't get Castillo, I think, is the favorite probably to land Frankie Montas from, the A's. And then, there's some interesting stuff, coming down about the Marlins pitcher. Pablo, he's available apparently. And then there's all sorts of stuff. The Guardians are apparently selling, and I don't know why, but, Zach Plesac might be able to be had at the deadline. Shane Bieber. I don't think any of those guys go. I think it's going to be Castillo and Montas, but I do think the Dodgers could end up with Montas. I think Castillo goes to the Yankees. I know the Dodgers are looking at getting another bat, so we'll see how that goes. But I definitely expect them to be players at the deadline. They always are. They've made incredible moves, throughout the years. So I don't see anything different. I don't know. Maybe they surprise people and go after a Josh Bell, who's been splendid this year for the Nationals. Not really sure. But interestingly enough, though, I think they'll be pretty active. Soto, I definitely think they're in the sweepstakes for. Just right now, seems like the Padres are willing to give up more than any other team, which is cool for them. Zeka, appreciate you so much for donating. It really means a lot. What's your prediction for the Lions this year? The receiving core got significantly better compared to last year in a softer schedule. Yeah, I think no doubt about it, you can put them in the third hole in that division, right? So regardless of how things go, the Lions will be the third team in that division. They're better than the Bears. I don't see them being better than the Vikings because I think the Vikings can win the division. I think they're probably the sleeper in the NFC. But when you look at what they did, going out, getting Jamison Williams, You have DeAndre Swift, who they're hoping he takes another step. You have Jamal Williams. Obviously, Craig Reynolds, the ability he has been incredibly valuable, in short, small opportunities. He's really made the most of them. I think Jared Goff is going to be in for a solid year. I keep telling people, Jared Goff is going to he has that stigma of being trash, right? People think he's a trash quarterback. Well, look at all the weapons he has. He has DJ Chark, who, mind you, he was a 1,000-yard receiver. Then he gets hurt, and now everyone's forgotten about him. DJ Chark signed a 1-year prove-it deal, meaning he's got 1 year to prove it. Like, he might not be back with the Lions, but I think he's definitely going to, give it his all this year. I thought you saw some good things out of Quintez Cephas, who already is having a decent camp from what I saw. On top of that, Amon-Ra St. Brown had one of the craziest, end stretches of any season I've ever seen from any, player, position, whatever. And then you have Josh Reynolds, who has the familiarity with Jared Goff, not even mentioning TJ Hawkinson and the guy I'm totally forgetting of right now, Mitchell. I really like what the Lions did. They got a lot there. They got a really good offensive line, in my opinion. I think Penei Sewell is built for the right side. Obviously I think he could play the left, but I like him at the right side. You got Vaitai. You got the best center in the league potentially in Ragno. I just really like what they did. What they've done, actually. And I'm actually a pretty big fan of, the coaching staff. So I think pencil it in or put it in ink, actually. I think they're better than the Bears. Will they make the playoffs in a seven-team playoff structure? That might be pushing it. I don't think they're there yet, but I definitely think they can get there. And that's an exciting thing if you're a Lions fan. I think that's what you want to see. Improvement. I think them and the New York Jets are definitely going to improve big time this year. Moving forward. Maybe not make the playoffs, although I think the Jets might make the playoffs. But I think they're both teams that you have to like the direction they're going in. Again, really appreciate you donating. Jake, I'm on the road trip from LA to Portland, Oregon with my family. It's good to see that you will go live. What's up, Rusty? Thank you. Yeah, I've been trying to go live for a while. Hopefully there's not a ton of lag or anything. I'm using a 2-computer setup. Never done this before, but right now I am talking to you through a camera, which is connected to my computer, which is not even streaming this. I'm streaming from my Mac Mini over there on that TV. You can barely see it, but I'm a big fan of this 2-computer setup so far because I like that it offloads all of the stress that you put on a computer, and you're able to use all sorts of stuff. And I mean, my computer's already a beast, but why not do that if you can? Plus, I have the 10 gigabit what the hell is it called? 10 gigabit Ethernet for the Mac Mini, which I don't have for this computer. I don't have like any Ethernet port. That's the only downside about a MacBook. So I'm able to get high-speed internet there on the level of like that far surpasses what I have on my laptop. So that's why I'm doing it. What's up, Goat? How's it going? Preacher Jake. What's up, Aiden? Marv, thank you so much. I really appreciate you donating. Means a lot. Coach, how we doing? You sent me I just saw my DMs about an hour ago, I want to say. And I thought that was really interesting. You sent me Louis Riddick said that Trey Lance is like the dark horse MVP. I mean, I'll say this, okay? When I see 49ers fans say Trey Lance, some 49ers fans, right? A lot of 49ers fans like him. A lot of fans like him. But there are still people out there that are like, how is he going to do what Jimmy Garoppolo did? And I'm like, bro, what did Jimmy Garoppolo do? Like, he's like Jared Goff at his worst, but even more, like, confined. Like, yeah, okay, he wins. That's cool. He's not a guy that can carry you. Whereas I feel like Trey Lance's mobility and just his natural talent, I mean, this is somebody, Kyle Shanahan's had success with every quarterback he's put out there. He got the best out of Mullins. He got the best out of Beathard. He got the best out of Garoppolo. He got the best out of Matt Ryan. I think he's going to get the best out of Trey Lance. I also think Trey Lance is the best quarterback from this draft class. I really do. And I think I've changed my opinion. I think Zach Wilson is the second best. When it's all said and done, I think Trey Lance has a astronomical ceiling. And I honestly think people overrate how raw he truly is because they look at the FCS label and they're like, oh, he's not ready. Guy threw one interception all of college. I mean, in the Alabama of the FCS. Come on. Yeah, Josh Reynolds. When are you planning on doing some Jackbox again? Yeah, I want to get back to that. We'll see about this weekend. I got a lot of stuff going on. But we'll try to get back to that. I want to get back to consistency, right? I didn't want to be gone from doing live streams for like 4 days. My internet was not working, and that is why I didn't do the live streams. I've been doing a lot of short form content. It's been blowing up on TikTok. I guess I'm now the baseball guy on TikTok. I post something on football, gets about 500 views. I post something on baseball, 50K, 200K. It's crazy. You can follow me at TikTok at JKBogan. I'm approaching 400 followers. I have literally gained over 240 followers this week alone. So I don't know. Short form, like I said, I had that big rant. Short form content is the future. But I won't ever stop making long form content. So there's that. Dan Campbell doing burpees and biting kneecaps. Pretty much. Sounds like Dan Campbell. Love the guy. J.E. Ben, the weight room. I see you, Jake. What's good, Ramley? Thank you. Not much. I mean, I'm annoyed that it's lagging. It looks like Kaylin's saying it's lagging. Hopefully it's not lagging too much. Hopefully we can still clip stuff and this is salvageable content and hopefully it's enjoyable content. But really I've just been trying this whole time to just, make do with what I have, making those short content while I can't live stream, making regular content. It's a pain in the ass because you guys know if I had it my way, I'd live stream every single day. So, yeah, that's depressing. I hope it's not too bad. What's up, Eric? Lions go 7-10. I don't think that's bad. And I think Lions fans would take that. 7-10 they would take. 8-9 they would take. 9-8 they would definitely take. But I think they would take just slightly below 500. And then the next year, you're ready to set up your move. Prediction on W? Are you saying that's a W or but what's up at AZZA? LeCastro should have been Yeah, the Yankees bringing down LeCastro to keep Joey Gallo there so he could strike out 3 times tonight was not cool. I'm so over Joey Gallo, man. I've tried. I tried so hard. I didn't like the trade initially. I don't love giving up prospects for nothing, and I definitely don't like hitters that only hit for power and don't hit for average. And Gallo doesn't even hit for power with the Yankees. He's got the short porch in right field, and I mean he's got like fewer hits than Aaron Judge has home runs this year. I mean, come on, it's ridiculous. Prediction on the Rams wide receiver room with the news: Jacob Harris training only with the wide receivers. I love it. I personally love that. Jacob Harris is a wide receiver. I've said this. I understand, they love the idea, the potential of him, the ball of clay effect. Like, oh, we can add him to the wide receiver or to the tight end room and just turn him into what we want. No, don't do that. He's really good at one thing, and that is going up and high pointing the football on the outside, playing, on the outside of the numbers. Why ruin that? Why risk that? And so that's a big thing that I have to say is that I was really glad when they decided to make him a wide receiver. And keep in mind, last year was very unconventional. You're not going to normally lose your number one receiver, Robert Woods, right? One of your number ones. You're not going to likely, have a guy in a 7-1 season where your team clearly looks like one of the favorites to win the Super Bowl just up and be like, I don't want to be here anymore. You're not going to have, 2 out of your 3 wide receiver draft picks go down with season-ending injuries. And you're not going to normally go out and have to get a guy or have the opportunity to get a guy like Odell Beckham Jr. and have to have him learn the offense and have him be the number 2. Like, it was a very unconventional season for the Rams, make no mistake about it. So, for that reason, I'm very excited for guys like Jacob Harris. I think he's a little bit further away than a Tutu Atwell. I think Atwell probably reaps the rewards more this year. But I think it's gotten to the point where we can say this is a very unpredictable offseason, very unpredictable training camp, very unpredictable preseason, and ultimately I think it's going to be a very unpredictable season. I think Allen Robinson leads the league in receiving. I put my bet down. Everyone should. Over on Caesars, you can get that at plus 10,000 odds. If you put down $10, you're making $1,000 if he ends the season as the leading receiver. And I think he can do that. So that's the only thing where I feel like that's maybe it's not really predictable, but that's what I believe is going to happen. But everything else, it's up in the air. I'm predicting stats. I'm doing projection videos. But, I mean, Tutu Atwell could have 900 yards for all I know. Jacob Harris could take the next step, and he could literally pass, Van Jefferson out of the blue. Anything can happen. I mean, we don't know how good Jacob Harris is going to be. What we do know is that, basically his physical standpoint, the training element, and the testing numbers, they are identical to Calvin Johnson. That's what we know. So, thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. I don't think they're that big, but I appreciate it. Thoughts on the Rams right guard position battle? I think it's going to go to Bruss. But Coleman Shelton is going to be there. I think his birthday was either yesterday or today. Happy birthday to him, nonetheless. And then Tremaine Ankrum, who they really like. So, we'll see who wins that, but I think it's going to be Bruss. Jake, what's your prediction on the Rams offensive line to wear the captain patch? My prediction is Brian Allen. I'm going to say Rob Havenstein. Havenstein's the best offensive lineman they have. He's a top 10 offensive lineman in football. It's time for him to start getting respected that way. He was top 10 according to PFF. He was one of the top 3 at right tackle according to PFF. And obviously, when you look at the film, it shows it. He's gotten considerably better over time. He is the veteran on that offensive line. Noteboom is going to end up being better. Okay, I really do. I think Noteboom is going to be better, but I think Havenstein right now is the best on the offensive line. I think he gives you that veteran leadership, the veteran presence. He's been there. He's done that. He's been around for a minute. He, to me, would be the captain of the offensive line. If there's a captain on the offensive line, I think it'll be Havenstein. Baseball Jake? Yeah. Yeah, Baseball Jake is a thing now. Sean McVay impersonation. Man. Alright, let's see if I can do this, alright? Yeah, we're trying to get the ball to Cooper and Allen. Cooper's a pro's pro. I think when you look at the way he brings it to camp every single day, he brings it to practice every single day, players perform their best when their best is required. And I do feel like because of that, Cooper Kupp is a pro's pro, and I trust him in those big game moments, and I trust Matthew to make the connections that he needs to make. And then you talk about having a Van Jefferson deep down the field as well that can help us, stretch out the defense. And then Allen can go up and he can play above the rim, and he can give you his all. And then on top of that, I love the effort you're getting out of Darryl and you're getting out of Cam. The offensive line is doing a great job of giving Matthew the time that is required for him to make the plays necessary. And then I just really have to give a credit to the coaching staff, from Liam to, all the guys that Thomas Brown has done an incredible job since becoming our tight ends coach and really taking full ownership of this offense and really learning the ropes. It's a testament to his character and, all that. And I think when you look at the defense, what Raheem's doing, obviously Aaron is a pro's pro. He plays on just a different level of his own. But you look at Jalen, I think he's taking another step. Troy is back with us. I think he's doing a really nice job. And then when you look, obviously, when we added Bobby, we knew that Bobby was bringing in, this level of professionalism, this level of character and leadership that we expected, which I think is really helping Ernest's development. And then when you look at Greg Gaines, you got to say a lot of good things about him. He's done an incredible job as well. So I really like where we're at this point in the season. And, as long as we keep doing our thing, we're gonna be golden. So yeah, that's I don't know how good that was, but it's off the top of my head, and I've never been asked to do a Sean McVay impression. I didn't say what the hell is the one thing that he says? He says it a lot. It's conducive to winning football. That's one of his McVayisms. I say conducive a lot too. I think it's rubbed off on me. Man, there's one that he says. Oh, I'll remember it at some point. I don't want to, waste the whole stream's time, but there's one that he says that like he just always says. It's so funny. But honestly, I'm not trying to say that I've become Sean McVay because I haven't, but like I've watched so much of Sean McVay, even going back to Washington. I fell in love with his, demeanor, at the podium. And I started talking more with my hands when I noticed, like you pick up on things that you watch, and that's the thing. Like when I started watching Colin Cowherd, I started doing strategic pausing, because they'll be like, I don't know, he does that, like and that, like you do that at times when you can't really think of what you're gonna say. Like you had a great idea, you lost it, and you're hoping that, it gives you time to get your thought back in your head, right? But then when you look at like Sean McVay, I think it was the vocabulary. I think I've grown watching Sean McVay talk to the press because the vocabulary. I increased my vocabulary since I started watching him. And, the hand motion and all that. Like, I'm doing this and not even doing it, realizing I'm doing it. It's just natural to me now. I mean, like the voice inflection, too. So, that's all I have to say about that. I really, really wish I could remember the ultimate Sean McVayism. I almost remembered it. I'm not gonna remember it. Anyway, let's catch up. I know the Rams fans don't like Bucks. I'm curious what your thoughts are on the signing of Julio Jones. I predict he gets over 1,000 yards. Tannehill sucked for him, and Titans gonna make a run of the ball. I'll be honest with you, I don't see it. And appreciate your comment, Joe. I don't see it. I think Julio Jones has kind of lost a step. And this is when you go back to the OG 2020 JE Live, moments, or 2021, whatever it was, the rumors about trading for Julio Jones. Ask anybody who's been watching this channel that long, and they will tell you Jake Ellenbogen did not want Julio Jones. I'm not, like, against going after stars. I know people are starting to, like, hey, dude, you don't want Soto on the Yankees. You didn't want Julio Jones. What's wrong with you? Julio Jones didn't make sense to me because I was hearing the Yankees. I was hearing that, like, the Rams would be like, yeah, like Van Jefferson here and, like, a second-round pick, or Van Jefferson, Robert Woods. Julio Jones was falling off, okay? And he is injury-prone, despite the fact what some people would tell you on Twitter. He is injury-prone. I'm sorry. I hate to admit it, but he is. And it's not going to get any better with age. So is this somebody that could come in and have 500 yards in the first 3 games? Yes. But he's also somebody that could come in, have 500 yards in the first 3 games, get hurt in game 4, be out until game 12, come in, have another 500 yards in the next 3 games, get hurt before the postseason, and then you don't have him. I mean, the parallels to him and Antonio Brown are crazy, except the fact I think Antonio Brown was in way better shape. I think it'll be Bucks and Rams in the NFC conference title game now after signing. Yeah, see, Joe, you're very high on Julio. I'm actually not. I don't even know if Julio's going to start, to be honest with you. I know it sounds crazy for people because they use 5 receivers so commonly. But I don't even know if it's a guarantee that he's going to start. You have to keep this in mind. Tom Brady had a list when, he was coming back to the Bucks. He handed in a list of guys he wanted. And near the top of that list was Russell Gage. Russell Gage is going to have a role, okay? Just because Julio Jones is here does not mean Russell Gage, who's been in camp this whole time, is going to fall to the back seat. Like, he's going to have a significant role. You have Chris Godwin. You have Mike Evans. Those guys don't just get pushed just for Julio Jones because he's the biggest name. All time, Julio Jones is the best wide receiver on their team right now. No doubt. But right now, Julio Jones is not that receiver. He's not that guy. He has to prove it, and I don't believe he is. I was pretty hyped. I'm not gonna lie. Here's a funny story about the Andrew Whitworth follow. It wasn't a follow back. That's why I love it so much. I don't think people realize when I was trying to explain it, it didn't come over the right way necessarily. I was trying to convey the message on Twitter. Essentially, I had found out that Andrew Whitworth was back on Twitter. I remember he used to be on or whatever. He was back on, right? Reactivated his account or whatever. And he followed people. Now, I saw the Rams tweet. It was like 2 a.m. I see the Rams tweet, and they're like, oh, Andrew Whitworth's back. And so I go to follow him, and he's already following me at 19. Like, he had 19 people who's following me, and he followed me. I was like, I didn't even know Andrew Whitworth knew I existed. So I guess it kind of goes to show you never know who's watching. But, if you're watching Big Wit, first off, you're welcome on the show anytime. Would love to have you on. This and the Downtown Rams podcast. But on top of that, really do appreciate you following me back. Or following me beforehand. I followed you back. That felt weird. But I appreciate you following me. Rams 10-man wide receiver core. Yeah, right. What's up, Jake? I agree on Jacob Harris' situation. He's really a wide receiver, in my opinion, with flexibility to play a little tight end. Also, McVay mentioned last year saw him more as a wide receiver anyway, so this is in the line. Yeah, exactly. I totally agree with you, and, he was always a wide receiver. If they could have worked him out at tight end, it was kind of like the Kyle Pitts, the Darren Waller situation, if you will. If you get him to work in that realm, then maybe, you have flexibility and you don't have to bring back Higbee after his contract, even though, hate to break it to you guys, Higbee is the greatest tight end in Rams history. Like, it's not even up for debate. He would have had way more statistical output if they didn't have all the weapons he's had around him. And he still has had seasons where he went over 700 yards. He went over 500 yards last year, maybe even 600. I think it was 500. Like, he's done so much for the Rams. He's been huge for them. Came for the Gallo slander, and we got it. Let's go. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. Like, look, Joey Gallo, as a person, I hope he succeeds, okay? I don't wish bad things on these guys. This is their profession, and I really feel bad because at the end of the day, I don't necessarily feel bad. I mean, it's on him. He won't change his swing, to accommodate to the fact that the shift didn't go away this year. But the way it comes down to it, at the end of the day, Joey Gallo was a Yankee fan growing up. It was a big moment for him to go there. He was like a kid in a candy store. Couldn't wait to get there, and it's just been a nightmare for him. So I feel for him in that regard, but then his comments about the shift really bugged me, and I think a lot of fans haven't let that go. It's literally the same thing, not exactly the same, but it's very similar to, think about, not long ago when it was Manny Machado, and he's like, I'm not a Johnny Hustle. People got pissed about that. Make no mistake about it. People got upset when he said that. They felt like it was disrespecting their sport, disrespecting their game. And so, people had an issue with that. And I don't blame them for having an issue with that. I didn't like it. You should be hustling. I'm sorry. They pay you way too much money for you not to run down that first baseline. Well, we get paid a lot of money. I don't care. We pay you a lot of money. Run down the first baseline. You kidding me? So, it's kind of like that. It's like, Joey, you're really not going to change your swing when you're going to go up against the shift constantly. It's just not a good look. And that's what I think has really hurt, Gallo. I think it's hurt, like, the fan base is obviously, isn't going to let Gallo go for that reason. And that's my thoughts on that, Again, I think he's going to get traded, probably to the Braves or somebody like that. And I hope he does well. I do. Sincerely, I hope he does well. I'm not going to laugh at him. It's just like Jared Goff, right? At some point or another, you have to realize, like, Jared Goff did go to a Super Bowl with the Rams. He was the franchise quarterback, and he probably would have ended up breaking all the Rams passing records. Just over the course of time. So, it's hard to just be like, nah, Goff's trash, and just, like, make fun of him all the time, Like, I honestly was rooting for the guy. The Lions were pretty easy to root for. Plus, you had that great fan base. I was rooting for the Rams for Matthew Stafford. Shows you upstanding people that are willing to support their player when they leave. Obviously, there's some Lions fans that come in here and don't agree with that. But, I don't know. I just, that's my thoughts on that. What's up, Rams Nation? That's the plan, right? That's the plan. By the way, I think I thanked you for donating, but if I didn't, I'm sorry. And so you get your time to shine here in the comments section, highlighting this because I should have done that earlier. I was so focused, you like blew my mind. I was like, oh, I never get asked to do stuff. Like I get asked questions, but they're like, yeah, Sean McVay impersonation. Man, I wish I could do impersonations. It'd be the easiest YouTube channel to grow ever. Hello, Jake. What do you think will get the third cornerback role on the Rams? Great question. I think it's going to be somewhat of a rotational basis, but I look no further than Jacoby Durant if we're going with one guy. Durant's ability, obviously he's a little bit of an ankle biter as a tackler, but I think he'll get better over time. But he is really good at playing in between the numbers. He can really help you. I think he can be a slot guy. I think he can be on the outside, but I think he's going to start his career, make no mistake about it, in the slot. And I think he's going to be hard, to shed. He played, he punches above his weight class, essentially, as far as the level of play that he puts on tape. I mean, when you look at him playing against Clemson guys, like, who's really the draft prospect? Is it the Clemson receiver, or is it Jacoby Durant? Some of them, in some cases they both are, but I felt like Durant stood out more. And so it's just like a reminder, talent is talent. You can find talent anywhere. There have been literally every example in the book of guys coming from all over the place. I mean, what was it? Ali Marpet came from Hobart, the D3 school, right? You can come from anywhere. Talent's everywhere. And also, like, let's not act like the HBCUs aren't killing it. South Carolina State put Javon Hargrave in the league, and he's one of the best interior defense linemen in all football, period. So, don't forget about that. The homework clause it's almost like disrespectful, but you're like, if they had to do that, they had to do that for a reason. They wouldn't have just done it for the hell of it. But then again, I would say, for what's his face, it is kind of rich, right? Because the general manager of the Arizona Cardinals, I'm trying to remember his name. I cannot remember his name. Steve Keim. He and this is where I kind of feel like it's almost like it's weird because it's coming from Arizona and you're gonna say Kyler has to do this, Kyler has to do this when your general manager is Steve Keim. And if you don't know where I'm going with this, well, it's I'm just gonna say this. He got an extreme DUI. Okay? He's been arrested for a DUI twice. He was arrested in 1996, and he didn't get sentenced or anything. It was 22 years ago. That had nothing to do with the second DUI. They didn't use that at all. But then he gets another one, and he's the GM of the Cardinals, and his blood alcohol content is twice the legal limit. And I understood he got suspended, but it's almost like, bro, the general manager is part of this contract, and you're sitting there. You're telling Kyler, you're scolding Kyler, hey, you got to do this, and the general manager is part of this, is driving under the influence. I'm just saying. I understand people make mistakes, but, like, do you see where I have an issue with that? Like, the irony? Like, Kyler, I think, has some maturity issues, okay? Based on what we heard and all that, that's true. But let's not lie to ourselves. Like, Steve Keim, it's not trying to flip it. It's just kind of, like, hypocritical. Like, hey, you got to do better. It's like, well, I understand he already, like, that ship has already sailed, but is there a clause in Steve's contract where he can't get another DUI? I mean, I'm just being honest here, folks. Maybe I shouldn't bring it up. Maybe I'm burning a bridge. Maybe the Arizona Cardinals will never hire me now. Shucks. That sucks. But, I mean, seriously, why does no one talk about that? Again, I'm not trying to, like, defend Kyler, because if he's not watching film, that's an issue. But That's my biggest issue with that idea is like Steve Keim literally has 2 DUIs. He got one recently when he was the GM of the Cardinals. Like, is there a clause in your contract where like you have to do do you see my point? Hopefully you do. Hopefully I'm not being a jerk, but maybe I am being a jerk. I don't know. Just something on my mind. Figured I would throw that out there. Jake, I'm the only one who thinks when Rob Havenstein wears tape on his cleats for his glove looks badass. I haven't even noticed that, but I mean, that's kind of badass, yeah. Thanks, Coach. You're welcome. Thank you. Lions will beat the Cowboys in Week 7 and then beat the Jets Week 15. They're not beating the Jets. Not Week 15. I think things will really come together for the Jets by that point. They're going to be a team no one wants to play. I'm telling you that right now. Clippers will win the chip next season. Don't be salty on the Clips, Jake. The Clippers don't have a fat chance in hell of winning a championship next season. So, Jake McVay. Oh, Lord. Oh, we got another one. It's Father Jake. It's Preacher Jake. It's Daddy Jake. Let's never say that one. That one was a little weird. But now we got Jake McVay. Dear God. I think the addition of Wagner will be able to stop the run game for other teams. We will repeat. I think it's going to help for sure, but we'll see. He did somewhat fall off a little bit last year. He's still a top 10 linebacker, no doubt, but last year wasn't the best year. I do think a lot of that came down to the talent around him. You got to hit all his sayings, Eric. That's how it goes. Forgot to finish the statement with staying together, but yeah, I did. You got a look in this eye. Jake has big guns, so he can suit up at linebacker. Man, if you trot out 165-pound, 5'8" Jake Ellenbogen, a linebacker, I mean, you're going to be tried for murder. Because I would die. I'm going to be, if I run into Derrick Henry, like, my ass is grass. Like, I ain't flying back. Like, he's pushing guys back. No, I'm just going to disintegrate. Like, it's like the equivalent of the snap. Like, Derrick Henry would run into me and I would be snapped into existence. I'd be in the blip. I'd get blipped out of reality. Nailed it. Was the hand movement plus best when our best is required. I would put a reference to a particular play on a certain down and distance, put the chef kiss on it. Oh, yeah. It's so funny. Yeah, like that time, we're in a wide H and Cooper is, he can recall every play. It's funny. You talk about the resilience, cerebral. No, that's not it, though. Mindful. Yes! I remembered. Folks, it's mindful. Yeah, we got to be mindful of that. I think, really, when you're looking, you definitely have to be mindful. I think we got to be mindful. I think when it comes down to it, I think we got to be mindful. We got to be mindful of the pressure and, when our best is required. You got to be mindful, obviously the official, not everything's going to go our way. You got to be mindful of that. That's his ism, man. That is a Sean McVay ism. What's your favorite John Sterling home run call? I think he's hilarious. Man, I do not know. I really, John Sterling annoys me because he'd be like, it's an A-bomb for A-Rod. And I'm like, oh, God. Or he'll be like, Mark sends a text message to right field. I'm like, oh, no. I remember my dad, we were talking about it. My dad, I forget, my cousin was telling my dad, what he says when Gardner hit a home run. Keep in mind, Brett Gardner at this point, this was not 20 home run Brett Gardner. This was 2 home run Brett Gardner. And my dad's like, wait, he has a home run call for Brett Gardner? It should just be like, holy shit, Brett Gardner just hit a home run. I always got a kick out of that. I don't know, man. It's just, if you guys don't know John Sterling, then, I mean, none of this makes any sense to you. But here in New York, John Sterling calls are always talked about. It's like People literally bring up small talk. I know because I used to work in a grocery store. People will be like, "Oh, did you hear the John Sterling call?" I mean, I thought it was idiotic when they had Ichiro and he hits he hits a home run, and like I understand Ichiro never hits home runs, but like John Sterling would say, "The rising sun says sayonara," and I'm like, the rising sun, more like the dying sun. Ichiro was like 48 when he was on the Yankees. Nothing is rising. I mean, like, come on. He sends a Stantonian blast. What the hell does that mean? Oh, Lord. Man. I can't. If you guys don't know John Sterling, you got to look him up. He's got some crazy home run calls. He's known for it. I remember the White Sox announcer went like absolutely mega viral because he used to be like, "You can put it on the board, yes." And it's like, it's just like everyone knew it was the White Sox announcer when he said that. But yeah, I mean, it's funny. You guys know, if you like, most of you I assume are on the West Coast because it's late. But like, if you're a Dodger fan, you know, everyone has their own thing. It's a game, you know. It's their game. It's their style. What is that? What are we doing here? Coward the GOAT. I love Colin Coward. I do. Resilience. Goff's playing for a starting spot and extension got them going 9-8, but missing the playoffs with the Saints or Eagles in front of them. Their offense is pretty tough. Need to make good decisions. Yeah, it's true. Being your best when your best is required. That is drilled into my brain. Also mindful. Got to be mindful of this, guys. If we're not being mindful, we're not going to, you know. I love McVay. I'm not trashing McVay. I just think it's funny. He's got his McVay-isms. Which team will hit the deepest bottom in the Boston basement? The fading Red Sox or the DBA Patriots, dead before arrival? The Red Sox. You know, I think the Patriots are going to be in for a weird year this year. But I think they at least have Mac Jones. The Red Sox, they still have control of Rafael Devers, but, like, they're going to lose Bogarts, okay? They did trade for all those guys. So, like, they have, like, a guy like JD Martinez. I mean, he's getting up there in age, and I just don't like the direction the Red Sox are going in. Plus, like, at one point, they were on a tear. Now they're not, and they're in obscurity. I think they need to be sellers at the deadline, personally. But I think they're going to be too stubborn to do that. I think the Rams will use Ernest Jones like Dallas used Micah Parsons on the edge, blitzing and pass coverage with Wagner back there. Jones has... maybe. He's not the pass rusher that Parsons is, obviously, but I could see something like that. Yeah, I just don't see it. I don't see it. I never wanted Julio to begin with, and that's why. Exactly. Preach. Yeah, I'm hoping it's not an ACL tear. Really feel for Ryan Jensen. That's awful. It's a huge loss for the Bucs. Huge loss for Brady. And he was going to retire, so you always have to feel for guys that were going to initially hang it up, deciding to come back, try to run it back, and, you know, that happens. I mean, like, Tatis and Soto, that would be a pain in the ass to deal with all the time with Manny Machado. But, I mean, I think the Dodgers should be smart. I will say this over and over again. I understand, okay? I get it. The luster of Soto, I get it. The stardom of Soto, I get it. But there's never been anything like this before. A player at 23, because you know why? This is not how it's done. The Nationals don't know how to run a freaking franchise. They're trading away what you hope prospects will be for more prospects. So that's the thing, is that since we've never seen anything like what Soto is, being available at age 23, being one of the best hitters in baseball, obviously this year isn't the best, but being one of the best hitters in baseball, being an ultra superstar, he's going to sell tickets, everybody's talking about him, people that don't even care about baseball know his name, And you rarely see guys like that available at age 23. You could say what you will. Ohtani's what, 28? Okay. You're not winning. Trout has back issues. Like, okay, I can understand trying to trade Ohtani. But Soto? He's 23. Why? You have 3 years of control. Figure it out. But no. So this is where it becomes a problem. Because since this never happens, Soto is going to blow up the market. This trade is going to be bigger than anything you've ever seen. We don't even know how big this trade is going to be. I mean, that's the thing. We've never seen this. We have nothing to compare it to. That's my thing. That's my argument. It's something that we have to keep in mind. It's why, don't know how many prospects there's going to be. Yeah, Gallo doesn't want to adjust his hitting, though. That's the problem. What's up, Brian? Brick's got that like button? Yes, please do. And please be sure to subscribe if you are new here. I would love you to join the fam. Welcome to the gun show. You guys. I'm still looking for all you Lions fans rooting against Glock 9 last season. Y'all been oddly silent. Yeah, typically speaking, those people won't be in here. Only the Lions fans that didn't cheer against him. Since the Jets will have a bye week before the Super Bowl on February 12th, should Salah treat their Week 10 bye week following by Game 10 as the Super Bowl preparation? Jets need to be ready for Super Bowl bye week media frenzy. You're funny. I don't think the Jets are going to win the Super Bowl, but I think they potentially do make the playoffs. I think it can. I think the Thunderbolts movie is so different than any project that they've really come out with. The idea, it's taken from a perspective of the villain, like the villains, and making them like the heroes, like Suicide Squad. Yeah, I think it can be awesome. I'm curious to see who directs it. Very curious to see who directs it. Brick's got the like button, yes. Jets should trade for Jimmy G. Absolutely not. No need for him. You got Zach Wilson. Jimmy Garoppolo would just be a thorn in their side. Plus, the Jets don't need to spend all that money, because that's a big contract they don't need to put on. Jets, all they needed to do was go out and address the linebacker position. They did that by, thank you for the segue, by signing Kwon Alexander. Okay? And I really like this move because I don't hate the Jets linebackers, but I mean, I think when you look at it, there are people that really like Mosley. Mosley's a big name that his production just doesn't really match it anymore. And that's really just what needs to be said, His production does not match his name. I'm using my iPad. I just got this thing. It's beautiful. Okay, so Quincy Williams. I've seen people are like, Quincy Williams might not make the roster now. Why would he not make the roster? Quincy Williams should be starting. I think he's probably the best linebacker they have. They're paying Mosley to be the best linebacker. We'll see if he is. But adding Kwon Alexander, guys, he's 27 years old. He has familiarity with Salah from his days with the Niners, albeit short. And, I mean, this is somebody that I think is going to help you. His athleticism is crazy. He's had some injuries, sure, and that's true. But I really do like the pickup. Last year, he added 3.5 sacks. He had 50 tackles in 12 games for the Saints. He had an interception, a forced fumble. Was he amazing last year? No, but, I think he's going to add something in this linebacker room they need. And I do like some of the linebackers. I like Sherwood. I like Marcel Harris, who is kind of like a tweener, linebacker, safety, familiarity with Salah. Then you have Hamza Nasruddin, who I really liked at FSU. Just kind of confused as what he's going to be. It looks like they're trying to make him a linebacker. I don't know. And then you have DQ Thomas, the UDFA, who I am somewhat intrigued with. So, I don't know. I liked it. As long as Alexander stays healthy, he'll be fine. He suffered, an Achilles tear, in 2020, and I just really don't feel like he's been the same. He has lost some of that explosiveness, which is, not surprising. It's a very catastrophic injury. But he's with Salah again. And if this guy starts week 1, I won't be surprised. I mean, now, will he start over Mosley or Williams? He's not going to start over Mosley. They pay him too much. Maybe Williams, maybe rotate them, but I like this move for the Jets. I think it was a good move for them. I will record that Clippers comment and play it back to you next year. I'm happy to be proven wrong. Yeah, well, you'll be proven wrong, Nug, but I appreciate it. Oh, nice. Yeah, I saw Feige mention that there are 2 characters in the Thunderbolts movie that have not even been introduced in the MCU, and that made me giddy. Not going to lie. That made me giddy. Harris to wide receiver. Who do you think will snag the 4th tight end spot behind Higbee, Blanton, and Hopkins? So, I mean, this is... I think when you look at it... I'm just bringing up the depth chart now because I want it in front of me. I hate, like, saying names wrong or, like, losing my train of thought. I know they have Roger Carr. They have Kyle Markway. They have Jared Pinkney. But I'm looking at Jamal Pettigrew. He spent some time. Obviously, he was with LSU. He transfers. I'm a big fan of his. Obviously, we interviewed him. I think he's probably the most ready out of those 3. Roger Carr is interesting, but I would say Pettigrew has a chance to make this roster. Probably why he's wearing 81 and Pinkney's wearing 46, Markway's wearing 47, and Roger Carter's wearing 49. Who knows? I think it should be Jacoby Durant, but I think they should also rotate because they got a lot of depth at corner. The scene from Not Another Teen Movie where the skinny nerdy guy catches the ball but gets chopped in half. We got to be mindful to hit the like button. Oh, I love you, Nolan. It's funny. I hate how much the fan dries out my throat, but I need the fan, otherwise I'll die. Like, you can't win. Above the neck? I've never even heard that. Jake, I think the Rams struck gold with the Rams rookie cornerbacks. I hope Raheem Morris have fun with the secondary. Yeah, I agree. I think they did as well. No, I haven't heard it. Maybe I just haven't been paying attention to that. But, I haven't heard it. Not going to lie. If I could watch the Rams blow out the Bucks again, that would be enjoyable. Or the Niners. The last time I streamed, the Red Sox lost by like 8 touchdowns. No, they lost 28-5. Like, what the hell? How do you lose like that in baseball? You should be kicked out of the league. I mean, you should be kicked out of the league for wearing... You're the Red Sox and you're wearing baby blue and yellow. Like, has anyone seen these uniforms? I'm going to show them. I don't care. I'm going to bring them up because they're god-awful. They're a disgrace. No one's ever seen the Red Sox blue and yellow uniforms. Yikes. It's very bad. They're horrible. No one can change my mind on that. They are god-awful. You are the Red Sox. So, like, what are we doing here? I mean, they still wear the red batting gloves, the red, cleats. It's just scary. Like, what are we doing? I don't know. Oh my God. Will something download for me? I'm trying to show people. This is really obnoxious, Google. Okay. Let's see what we got. It should not take this long, but it's taking this long. So, we did a... What? What is happening? It's not letting me... It normally just lets me download the image, and I put it in OBS, and we're good. But it's not letting me. I'm just trying to show you the worst uniforms in baseball. It's not that hard. Apparently it is. My mind is being blown right now of how dumb this is. Why is this not working? Okay. This is ridiculous. I've never even had this. I've never had this struggle. Like, I'm just trying to show them the bad uniforms. Apparently they've worn these multiple years. I didn't even know this. Yeah, not ideal. Not ideal at all. Oh, you know what? I'm an idiot. It's a media source, not an image source. I'm a moron. I'm the problem. That's why. Cuz my dumbass, yeah. There we go. Okay, you guys ready for this? Sorry that took so long. I'm an idiot. Yep, total idiot. All right. What the hell? What the hell is this? How could this be okay? Who allowed this? You're the Boston Red Sox. I'm wearing more red in my tank top than you're wearing in your uniform, your professional uniform. You're wearing UNC blue. Let's just call it like it is. You're basically wearing what the Eagles wore back in the day. Remember that one game Kevin Curtis had like 300 yards receiving? You're wearing like, Brian Westbrook went off. You're wearing that like Eagles yellow and blue, which by the way I liked, but that's neither here nor there. I don't even know what we're doing, man. I don't know what we're doing. Oh, he will. Don't mistake my praise for Jared Goff as I'm gonna back down on Zach Wilson. Zach Wilson has a top 10 offensive line in football. George Fant had over 800 snaps last year, only gave up 1 sack. They got Laken Tomlinson, who was a Pro Bowl guard when he was with Mike LaFleur. Well, guess who he's with now? Mike LaFleur. They have a top 10, according to PFF, center in Connor McGovern. Their right guard, you know very well. A lot of you USC fans out there, Elijah Vera Tucker, very good. And then they have Mekhi Becton, who, if he stays healthy, is going to be a mammoth right tackle. Top 10 in the league if they all stay healthy. Then you go out and you just talk about the tight ends right now. You draft Jeremy Ruckert in the 3rd round. He'll be great long term, so he doesn't even have to have a huge role this year. You go out and get Tyler Conklin, very underrated from the Minnesota Vikings. You go out, you get CJ Uzama. Okay? Not even talking about the running backs yet. Wide receivers. You go out and you get Garrett Wilson. Okay? You already have Eli Moore. Elijah Moore's going into year 2. I think he's going to be huge. Corey Davis just lost like 15 pounds, so they're thinking he's going to have a really good year. You have Braxton Berrios. Denzel Mims is having a really good camp. We'll see. I'm not holding my breath on that end, but if he does have a good camp and it does translate, then great for him. And then we go into the running backs, and you got Breece Hall and you got Michael Carter. There is too much there for Zach Wilson to fail. Zach Wilson showed you at the end of the year without those options that, he's that guy. And I think he's going to prove it even more this year. I have 30 touchdowns, 13 interceptions, over 4,000 yards. Book it. Zach Wilson's going to be in for a huge year too. You heard it here first. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I could see him leaving to play with Bronny, but I could see Bronny going to the I almost said the Rams. I could see Bronny going to the Lakers. I don't know. Exactly. And the offense is more curated for Stafford, too. Guys, be sure to hit the thumbs up. We have 39 people in here, 29 likes. You like it, YouTube sends more people to come over here and join the party. You're basically my testimonials. You're getting people to click on this. So, yeah, appreciate that. Jake Schreier. I'll have to look him up. I'm not too familiar with him. Jake Schreier. He's known for Paper Towns. Yeah. Okay, you're right. He's directing Thunderbolts. He directed the TV episode, one of the TV episodes for the show Dave. Shameless, he directed an episode for. He directed Paper Towns. That's where I know him from. Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm they gave John Watts an opportunity. The guy hardly had any credits to his name, and well, he put out like the best damn movie I've ever seen in No Way Home. So. I don't really have time to watch those shows. I got to make my own content. I really try to watch as much as I can in regards to what is going to help me with my content, acquire knowledge and whatnot. So, technically I should probably watch that, but really just stick to trying to get a hold of the pressers and things like that. But yeah, I just I don't have time, It's like, it's amazing how much you just have to learn, over the course of when you're covering a team. Now I'm covering two teams. So yeah, I just don't have the time for it, sadly. I don't think it will happen, but we need Pujols to hit 700 home runs. The guy can write his script today for Hall of Fame. I'd love it. I'd absolutely love it. I root for Pujols. He's one of the good guys. Would like it. No, I did not get a chance to see Boss Level, Mike. I got to. I got to do that. It's on my list. I saw Ambulance with Jake Gyllenhaal. Yahya Mateen Abdul, or Abdul Mateen. One of those. I really like him. He was in Candyman. He was also in Get Out, I think. Or Us. I think he was in Us. I really enjoy him. He's a good actor. And then Isa Gonzalez. Really liked her in that. Ambulance was really good. Michael Bay did what he always does. He creates explosions and action, and it was fun. And for somebody that doesn't like car chases and all that, because I think they're the most boring part of a movie, and the most redundant, and the most overblown, and honestly, we need to just cut them out of most movies. For a movie being almost entirely about a chase scene, there's just an extended chase scene, it was really fun. I enjoyed it. So, yeah. Recommend that. I also saw The Gray Man. I don't know if I've seen you guys since I saw The Gray Man. Haven't gotten my review out there. I stopped doing those short reviews. I got behind and forgot. The Gray Man's fun. It's got Jared Goff in it. Ryan Gosling. They look exactly the same. No one can tell me otherwise. Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans, and Ana de Armas, who... She's going to be Marilyn Monroe in the Netflix series coming out in September, and I can't wait. I mean, I think she is phenomenal as an actress. I watched her, the most recent Bond she was in. She was like the red herring Bond woman. And then she was also one of the important characters, really important characters in Knives Out. So, yeah, I've been a big fan of hers for a minute, and she did not fail to impress in that movie. Not at all. Also, Reggie John Page, or I don't know the guy's name. I know he just got cast in Secret Invasion, but he's good too in that. Never asked you this question. When Brady won 6 Super Bowls in New England, do you think it was more because of Brady or Belichick? I'd argue Brady because he won in Tampa. I don't think it's more than anything, because here's the thing. Brady had to do what Brady had to do, but on top of that, Belichick had to create a foundation. Belichick had to create, a situation for Brady where, you're talking about Brady's entire career with the Patriots. He had 2 defenses that weren't in the top 10. I mean, that makes it pretty easy for you to win games when your defense is that consistent. So I think Belichick doesn't get enough credit. I think people just want to make it a one-sided thing. I don't think one could have worked without the other. And that's what I'll say with that, because what it comes down to with Brady is, yeah, okay, he won a Super Bowl. You do realize he went to Tampa. Tampa was already building something. They were in a lot of those games with Jameis Winston, despite the fact he threw 30 interceptions. And to be honest with you, if Bruce Arians calmed down his offense, Jameis wouldn't have thrown that many interceptions, and they probably would have won those games. So obviously, yeah, you add Brady to a team that's already on the rise. Sure, Brady knew what he was doing. If Brady wanted a challenge, if he really wanted to prove himself as like, I can make anybody win, he would have gone to the Jacksonville Jaguars, because they did not have that type of foundation. And that was post, getting rid of Jalen Ramsey. That was post getting rid of Dante Fowler, and post, all of that. Okay, if Brady went to the Jaguars and won a Super Bowl with them, there would have been no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He would have been just on another level. I mean, he already is on another level, but you get my point. I love the Jacoby Durant pick as well. Sydney Sweeney was throwing the first pitch when the Red Sox lost big. Yeah, I saw her. Her post was like, they should have put me in. Google is trying to save us that eyesore. Yeah. The Boston Six Sox. The Boston Ram Sox. Oh, there's one. Delaware called. They said they want their colors back. 80s Mariners uniforms. Yuck. More Jets content. You really love the Jets, Jake. I'm covering the Jets, so, of course I'm going to put Jets content out there. I mean, it's been a predominantly Rams-centric show for the most part, to be fair. So, But I got to get the Jets content in there because, Don't search the Padres spin-in swag chain. It's going to give all your devices a virus. Oh, God. If Zach doesn't ball out or show growth with much talent around him, then you can pull the plug or bring in some competition. Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't show anything this year with everything around him, yeah, that would be his problem. But I just can't see that. Love you too, Brian. Another TV director, interesting? Yeah, I thought so as well. Yeah, I mean, the Kansas City AFC title game, a guy goes off sides. I mean, Brady still threw the interception, but, was on the other side of the field. But all right, yeah, it's funny how that works. Dave is a freaking awesome show. It's about Lil Dicky if y'all don't know, but man, such a freaking funny, smart show. Amber, I am absolutely single. I haven't dated since last year. I had somebody that didn't believe in what I was doing. I quit my full-time job. I said I was going to be a full-time content creator, freelancer, and she basically called me a loser. Didn't break up with me, though, so I got the satisfaction to break up with her. So that is why I'm still single. I haven't really been looking, essentially. I think I might get back into the game, but I've been so busy trying to build my brand, my content, and now that it's a full-time gig, this is what I do. So, yeah. Good question, though. I haven't been asked that on this. I've been joked about that. I think Alex asked that one time as a joke, or somebody asked that as a joke. But yeah, I have never been asked that. So, to answer your question, I am single. I finally saw Nope, and I gotta say, Gordy was scary. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. The potential they have of a spin-off of Nope is just limitless. Like, I really want to see... I don't want to spoil it. I want to see the monkey. I'm just going to say that. Can we get a Google source comparing Jared Goff and Ryan Gosling? Let's do it. Let's just do it. Jared Goff. And you know what? We'll keep him in his Rams attire. For the good old times, right? Jared Goff, okay? Ryan Gosling. I mean, it's kind of hard because a lot of these pictures he has like facial hair. The best picture, of course, the dimensions suck. All right, let's just do it. Okay. So Jared Goff. We'll put this here. Browse. Okay. So this is Jared Goff. Goff. And now... Oh, this is gonna backfire. Yep, I knew it was going to backfire. That is Gosling. I should have just done a separate image. That is so annoying. If you copy an image source, like, if you change it changes it for both, which is just like stupid and counterproductive. But anyway, sure, save it. I don't. Why are you? Oh my god. Anyway, okay. So we got. Let's just cut some of this off. Okay. You can't tell me. You can't tell me they don't. Like, are you serious? When people say, like, I don't get the Jared Goff comparison, like, how do you. How? Bro, they're the same people. Ryan Gosling. Love it. Jared Goff is Ryan Gosling. I don't care what anyone says. You can probably find way better pictures, too. This is just on the fly. I mean, I didn't make the rules. They're the same person. All right. Back to our regular scheduled program. Jake, who do you think really is the new Black Panther? I'm starting to feel like it's Shuri. Even though I was given information that it was M'Baku, but it feels like it's Shuri. Do you think Andrew Whitworth will be on the sideline this year? No, because he's working for Amazon. I don't think he could show bias towards a team like that. Because if he works for Amazon, he's covering teams. Like, I don't think he can just, go over the Rams sideline. What's up, Aaron? I drafted you the other day. They're going to make me a lot of money. I appreciate it. Exactly. It's not M'Baku. I was told it was going to be, and then I saw that, and I was like, that's not M'Baku. That looks like Shuri. Spider-Man meme. Just curious as to why you think the Clippers have no chance next year with a healthy Kawhi and George leading the charge. They've never done it before. What makes any other time different, They just don't win. They've had opportunities, they don't win. I don't think the Clippers are that good. They haven't done anything. What was that job you took recently? Some remote sports writing job you have now? I think it's called Game Time Talk. The Game Day? I haven't written for them in a little bit. I might do NFL this year. I don't know. I wrote a little bit for baseball. I wrote a little bit NBA. I wrote a little bit NHL. Come to think of it, I covered 4 freaking sports. I've never done that in my entire career. So, yeah, it was a big time for me. But Jake, props for letting that girl go. That's toxic AF. You can't keep a girl who won't support your passion goals like that. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I should have known. The writing was, not the writing was on the wall, but like, when you see, signs, like warning signs. You know who did this really well, depicted this really well? How I Met Your Mother. The Crazy Eyes with Monica Baccarin, The Crazy Eyes, that episode, The Baggage. See, like, people will show you baggage, and like you can get past a lot of it. Like if you really love someone, you really care about someone, you can get past it, right? But for me, like I just ignored things because I'll truthfully, in the effort of being fully transparent, I hadn't been in a relationship in a while. And I didn't want it to just go away. So I'm in this relationship, and I tell this girl, everything I'm doing, and I'll keep her name out of it. I don't want her to get like doxxed on the internet by somebody that's like a hardcore JE supporter. But appreciate you, by the way. But let's not dox anybody. But yeah, I just I didn't want it to, like, I saw there were warning signs that it wasn't a good fit, and I should have noticed, like, when I asked if she had checked, because she thought it was cool that I had a YouTube channel. And then I told her, it's like my dream to go full time with it, and she's like, yeah, like I should have realized when she's like, yeah, I don't know if you're that big. And I was like, no, I'm not that big, right? I'm not, but I'm gonna get that big. And since then, I've grown by like 10,000 subscribers. I'm nearly at 2 million views because I believe in what I'm doing, and I'm not going to stop doing it. And if you let anybody try to talk you out of doing something, especially somebody who's been in your life for a hot second, then you're as weak as they are. And that was the decision for me, is that like and honestly I was weak because I did realize, but I didn't want to admit it to myself, and I would make excuses. You ever like someone so much, like, oh, you make excuses? Like, yeah, like I did that because I noticed little things like, hey, can you check out like my stream? Like, what do you think? Because she had never told me what she thought. She just saw I had a YouTube channel. And she like made up shit. Like I could tell she was making up stuff because I was not even talking about what she was talking about. And then I was like, all right, like I'll let it go, whatever. And then it just it didn't work out. And it didn't work out on another level because like I'm always, kind, courteous, and responsive, and I like when a girl's independent and not just like super clingy. And I don't think she was overly clingy, but what I didn't like is how it was always a comparison about how much money, we made, right? And then when I quit my job after literally feeling like death every day, my last job I hated. Call center job, you guys know, I was pretty open about that last year. In the year prior, I mean, I hated it. It made me miserable. I got up late every day for it. It got to the point where it was sucking my soul out, and I wasn't a quitter, so I refused to quit, and I just continued to stay at a really bad situation, and I kept thinking about, well, I got to put my 2 weeks in, and then I'm like, I don't think I can make it another 2 weeks, and eventually I just quit, because I realized I literally couldn't make it. I had a great boss. She was understanding of it. Everyone was. I just couldn't do it anymore. I couldn't be talked like I was complete dirt. There was 1 second, I go on lunch break, and I'm talking to Kurt Warner. And I feel accomplished. And I feel great about myself and the direction of my life. And then when I hung up that call, recorded that, and I had to clock back into work, despite the fact I was working from home, and I had all the flexibility in the world, and I'm sitting there getting yelled at about window shades, I was done. I couldn't handle it anymore. I was being tired. I got so tired of, like, I've been doing this for 35 years. Like, calling me, all sorts of stuff. You can only take that for so long. So I quit. And I'm not a quitter. I quit, though. The advice that my late grandfather, Grandpa Dave, as most of you know, from last year, I did lose him early on this year, but he kind of gave me the inspiration to do that. I did not think he would, but he was like, yeah, why are you still there? Like, if it gives you that much dread, like, yeah, you should find another thing. He's like, and he always believed in everything I did. So, I guess I've been around such an awesome support system, from you guys to my parents, who just support me undyingly, essentially. My family in general, my friends, definitely, like, my grandpa really supported me. And so to kind of go from that to then, obviously, your girlfriend isn't necessarily your family yet. Like, you're hoping, like, if you're dating, then you're hoping at some point maybe something works out and you're hoping for marriage, but, like, you're not immediately, like, that's not your expectations. Like, you have to build to that, right? But, like, she wasn't necessarily, like, part of, like, my family, but I still expected her, because my friends were supportive, my family was supportive, and you guys are supportive. I expected her to be supportive, and she wasn't. So I was like, yeah, I kind of, like, I was totally missing, or not even missing, I was seeing the warning signs and just ignoring them because I hadn't been in a relationship for a while, so I want to see how long this thing can stick. So, hope that helps. Like, if anybody is, like, wondering, like, if their partner doesn't believe in you, like, if your partner thinks that you're a loser and doesn't believe in you and doesn't want you to get out of a toxic situation and make your life better, then you, my friend, need to get another partner. Period. So, yeah, that's that. Funny, that went way longer than I expected. But I don't know if I ever really elaborate on it. I think I've talked about it a little bit before, but I said, can we get a pic of Goff and Gosling? Those were pics of the same person. And you want to talk lookalikes? I've never seen Bill Murray and Don Mattingly and vice versa. That's a good one. Ben Affleck returning to be Batman. That's weird. I don't know what they're doing with the DCEU. People are connecting the placement of the song lyrics to the scenes. Kendrick Lamar says, when I wake up on the Black Panther reveal, people think it's Killmonger. I hope to God. Oh, I would be so... That's what they should do. If they do that, that movie is going to be an all-timer. IMO. Jake, how would you feel if the Rams traded a 2024 first-round pick for Cam Hayward? I mean, I love Cam Hayward, but I wouldn't trade a 2024 first-round pick for a guy that's older, defensive lineman that's older. I don't see the need, Keep that. Never know when you'll need it. I also don't think the Steelers are going to let go of Cam Hayward. I don't think it's promoting gambling, and I don't have any issue with you promoting gambling, to be honest with you. We promote gambling all the time here at the channel. People always are like, yeah, I dropped this, I dropped that. Early on in the show, I told everyone to put $10 down on the 10,000 plus odds that Allen Robinson would lead the league in receiving. I mean, the odds are too good. Like, they're just so great. I mean, 10,000, you're just not going to find anything like that. Yeah. I hear rookie corner we drafted is looking real nice at camp and even made Cup stumble on a play. I saw that too. I always draft me too. There you go. Father Jake will move mountains. Dudes who cover the games have a ton of stuff they have to do behind the scenes besides just calling the game, so I imagine Whit wouldn't even have time to be on our side. Exactly. Yeah, I'd like to do that again soon. We'll see. Hopefully, and guys, let me know. Hopefully it's not lagging too much. I don't really know how to solve it. It just started like 4 days ago, and it's been ruining me. So this is the best I can really do. I appreciate that, Joe. Yeah, sometimes you just got to walk away from toxicity. People want to solve everything, and, sometimes it's okay. There are problems you just simply can't solve. Like, it's okay to move on. Aaron Boone, I'm talking to you. Move on from Joey Gallo. Come on. He's batting below 160 now. When is enough enough? It's like, jokes on all of you. This entire podcast, or whatever you want to call it, this entire live stream was just subliminal messaging about why Joey Gallo needs to go. No, I'm kidding. From what I've seen, Cam is on a mission this year. He might just blow our minds this year. We'll see. We'll see. I don't think they're going to be running enough for that to happen, but we'll see. Yeah, give me Brian Burns. I'd give up a first for Brian Burns. I didn't even know that was a thing. That's funny. Oh, man. That's funny. That's messed up, but funny. Other than Ramsey, who do you think will perform the best in the secondary? Troy Hill. He's going to have a really good year. Jordan Fuller, I think, also is too. Yeah, I could see that too, Nolan. Oh, my God, man. That's nuts. Sadly, I believe this to be true. I come for the football. I stay for the Jake rants. Yep. Ranting with Jake. That's what the new show will be called. I kid. It's always going to be Jay Live. It's simple. Not a giant-ass thing, So, I don't know. By the way, shout out to the Orioles. Shout out to the Orioles. The Orioles have won a ton of baseball games, and they've actually put themselves in contention to make the playoffs. And people were saying that they need to tank, they need to trade away their, Trey Mancini, those guys. I don't think they should trade away shit. They're over 500 for the first time all season, 50-49. And while that might not be a big deal for you, if you look at the standings, well, Orioles are 16.5 behind the Yankees. They're not winning that division. No one is. The Yankees just lost 10 of the last 15 before today, and they are literally 11.5 games over the Toronto Blue Jays for the lead in the division. They're not losing the division, okay? But when you look at it, the Orioles are 3 games behind the Rays for third place and are 5 games behind the Blue Jays for second place. We are not talking about the Orioles right now. We're not talking about them enough. What they've done, it's impressive. And they're a fun team. I understand they're in the Yankees division. I'm a Yankee fan. I guess, I'm promoting a rival. But, I mean, if you guys want to get into baseball, your team's already out of the playoffs. I mean, if you're a Kansas City Royals fan, sorry. If you're a Detroit Tigers fan, sorry. Some of you probably are. If you're an Oakland Athletics fan, sorry. Also sorry that, the Oakland Stadium is complete dog water. If you're an Angels fan, I'm sorry. You're probably out of it. If you're a Rangers fan, I don't know why they don't want to admit that they're out of it. They're actually trying to get Soto, but I think they're out of it. If you're a Nationals fan, if you are a Reds fan, if you're a Pirates fan, if you're a Cubs fan, yeah, the Cubs are pretty much out of it as well. If you're a Rockies fan, if you are a Diamondbacks fan, Diamondbacks, maybe. You're out of it, right? Watch the Orioles. Every night. That team is just unstoppable. Like, they just continue. Okay? They just continue to truck along and win baseball games. When you look at the roster and you're like, yeah, it's a bunch of guys they called up. They're very young, but win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win. They've won so many games. In a short amount of time. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball. Simply put. Love what they're doing. They got Matt Holliday's kid, so that's another top prospect who they'll have. Right now, their pitching staff is banged up. They're still making it work. Jorge Lopez is a great closer. They got a solid bullpen, not great. They're still holding teams to, hardly any runs. Mountcastle's okay. They love Mancini. Rutschman is above and beyond his years. Odor is not the best. Urias is pretty solid. He's 28. Santander, he's 27. He's got 17 homers on the year. Hayes is solid, 27. Mullins, he's solid. All down the line. Mateo is the former top prospect for the Yankees. He's not the best, but he's something. But yeah, dude, if you want any team to root for, if you like the underdog, root for the Orioles. What they're doing is a collective team effort. I absolutely love what the Orioles are doing. Even though they're in my division as a Yankee fan. Got to give them props. They're a lot of fun to watch. I root for them just about every night because they're playing like the Yankees rivals also. They're playing Toronto. They're playing Tampa. It's hard not to root for them. You like teams like that. Teams that are built like that. And they're going to be really good in a couple of years. So they're ahead of schedule. And that should scare a lot of teams because they have a lot of those top draft picks. They've drafted well with those top draft picks. I'm a big fan of what the Orioles have done. Simply put. Let's see here. Would love a film breakdown of Darion Kendrick in college. Dude has been making big plays in camp, getting a lot of attention. Yeah, I might consider doing that. I had a couple left. I know I had Quentin Lake. I had that. I had Darion Kendrick. I had Yeast. Arcuri. Maybe I'll just call it. I'll just call it and maybe just do Lake and Kendrick. That's probably what I'll do. We'll see. I think the AFC is the best division in football. Our best conference. Yeah. Well, you look at it. The NFC East. The Giants, they might surprise. Who knows? Brian Dable. If he gets something out of Daniel Jones, watch out for that team. The Eagles, they look like by far the best team in that division, though. Cowboys, I think, are going to take a step back. Commanders, they might be all right. But the NFC East isn't that great. The North, the Bears aren't good. The Lions are promising, but probably aren't going to be that great. The Packers obviously are in the top, and then I think the Vikings are in that top conversation. Then you have the Falcons. Don't see them being particularly good. Panthers, I don't really see. Maybe Baker makes them better. Who knows? The Saints, I think, are going to be good. The Bucs are obviously going to be good. Then you have the Cardinals, who I don't think are going to be that good. Seattle is going to be on that same level. I don't know how good they're going to be. The Niners will be good. The Rams will be the best team in the NFC. Then you have the AFC, okay? I think the Bills are going to be the best team in the AFC. I think the Jets are going to be a solid team this year. I think the Dolphins will be interesting. I think the Patriots will be interesting. Then you look at the AFC North. The Ravens, they're a dark horse to win the Super Bowl now if they're healthy. The Bengals, they were in the Super Bowl, so obviously you got to give them props. The Steelers, I mean, look at what they've done. They have a top defense. They got an offensive line. They had one of the most pitiful offensive line in football last year, and I thought they did pretty well with all things considered. And now the Browns. If Deshaun Watson plays, you still, as much as I don't like them, you have to put them in that discussion. Then the AFC South. The Colts with Matt Ryan, okay? Ballard has built a good team. I'm excited for Alec Pierce. I think the Colts are going to win that division. Then you look at the Titans. Titans will probably be competitive. The Jaguars are intriguing. We'll see if Lawrence takes the next step. Also, shout out to my boy Kyle Sloter going to the Jaguars. Hopefully he wins that starting job in 4 years. You might be laughing, but I want him to eventually start. I'm not that high on Trevor Lawrence, to be fair. Texans, right? They're not very good. They're just not. Then you look at the AFC West. Chargers, playoff team. Raiders, playoff team. Chiefs, playoff team. Broncos, potential playoff team. So the AFC is loaded. The NFC is not. The only team that should concern Rams fans in the NFC is the Minnesota Vikings and the Green Bay Packers, because they have not beaten the Packers, and the Vikings have Kevin O'Connell, who knows all the trade secrets, and obviously they're going to change up their offense a little bit, but still. The Niners, I think they might have cracked the code on the Niners. We'll see what Trey Lance does. I think they can beat the Niners. Sleepers in fantasy football, well, I did mention Alec Pierce of the Colts. I think he's somebody you definitely have to keep an eye out for. Excited for him. I'm excited for Breece Hall. He was not my top running back in the draft, but I think he went into a really good situation in New York. He could be interesting. At quarterback, I think if you could get Kirk Cousins at any point in the draft, he has a chance to be a star this year. Cousins with Kevin O'Connell going back to the roots of the Washington offense, it's going to be huge for him. I really think so. I think Justin Jefferson has a chance to blow it up this year. I also think Zach Wilson is a sleeper candidate at quarterback. Definitely a guy that you want to target. I think Jared Goff's a sleeper because, like we talked about earlier, Goff has a lot of weapons. So it's almost like you can't, I didn't think Goff looked that bad last year. He's not great, but he's good. And he's got enough weapons where you're like, yeah, you get him as a backup, he might work out for you. As far as tight end, I would say Tyler Conklin of the Jets is somebody that you want to keep an eye on. And I'd say Hawkinson. He needs to take the next step, though. It's time for him to take the next step. Shout out to your 1970s Italian living in the Bronx look. Absolutely killing it tonight. Thank you. Appreciate it. They have Jackson Holiday, Gunnar Henderson, Dylan Tate, Cedric Mullins, Trey Mancini. Good talent. Yeah, they got a lot of talent. They should be feeling pretty good about themselves. A podcast should be a person's sincere viewpoint like you. All other Jets podcasts are predicting 8 or 9 wins, so there's a huge void for us optimistic Jets fans who see the Jets as playoff bound. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and just, regurgitate everything. I mean, I think that there are a lot of good Jets content creators. I haven't had a chance to look through all of them, but, there are a lot of good ones. And, I've had the pleasure of being on a couple of those podcasts. And, what I will say is that when it comes to the Jets, they have everything, okay? There is a little bit of a concern when it comes to linebacker. Like I mentioned, they went out and got Kwon Alexander. Like, when people say, like, their weakness is that they have... By the way, what is this shadow? What is it? You see the shadow? What is this shadow that I'm... Is this the microphone? Like, what? I've never seen the shadow before. Anyway, sorry to ruin that rant. But anyway, when you look at the Jets, I talked about the offense, so no, don't worry. I'm not going to, list off every offensive name. But when you look at the defense, you look at the secondary, okay? First off, love their corners. DJ Reed was the top 13 corner. Bryce Hall was very good last year. Brandon Eccles was very good last year. Michael Carter II was really good last year, all right? Then you go out and you had Sauce Gardner, the best cornerback in all of the draft, right? He was fantastic in college. He's a big reason why, Cincinnati made the college football playoff. He's fantastic. I think day one he can be an elite corner. Then you go out and you get Jordan Whitehead, who's going to set the tone in the back end of the secondary. You have LaMarcus Joyner coming back on a one-year deal, okay? Ashton Davis, I don't really know what to feel about. I mean, I don't know how to feel about him. Because Ashton Davis has been a bust. He has. He hasn't lived up to the expectations. So, Ashton Davis has been a little bit of a bust. I think that's fair to say. But when you're talking about the Jets' defense, there's a lot to like. And I just feel like, they're missing. The linebackers just aren't proven. The defensive line, you got Quentin Williams, you got John Franklin Myers, Jermaine Johnson, Michael Clemens, two guys they added I like in the draft. Don't sleep on Bryce Huff and Jacob Martin either as rotational pieces. They get Carl Lawson back, Sheldon Rankin, Solomon Thomas. That's a guy to watch out for. Solomon Thomas is now back with Robert Saleh. His third team, maybe the third time's a charm, who knows? But Carl Lawson, they missed him all of last year. I mean, the Jets have everything. They just don't have the elite version of everything, but they have everything except for linebacker. And to me, that's enough to be like, all right, maybe this team can sneak into the playoffs. That's my thoughts on that. Essentially. Yes, Jorge Mateo. I got a feeling that last shot of BP in the trailer and a whole swirl won't be in the film. Probably not. Yes, I would say so. It's true. Now think about a Super Bowl where the Rams play the Jets in 2 years. And I'm covering both teams. I mean, I'd be a kid in a candy store. They should have had Affleck at San Diego Comic-Con since Cavill wasn't showing. Yeah, I don't understand what they were doing. San Diego Comic-Con is just a cautionary tale of what not to do. If you're, looking at, like, the DC, what they did versus Marvel was sad. But I've seen some great TikTok, videos about it, so I guess I'm okay with it. I did swipe Visa. I like it. I like it a lot. I want him to be a wide receiver. Here's the thing. If you take a guy who's played literally like 2 years of football, the majority of his life he's played soccer, and you're like, yeah, we're not going to make you play wide receiver. What we're going to do is we're going to move you to tight end, where you have to learn how to be a wide receiver and an offensive lineman in 1 year. That's why tight end is so hard. You have to do multiple things. It's one of the hardest positions to adapt to as a rookie. There's no point of putting a raw guy like that in there. I understand the ball of clay aspect. You take a guy, you can turn him into what you want because he's so raw. You can teach him the way you want him to be. Like, you're basically creating your own player. But, no. Okay? I like that they're like, nope, wide receiver makes sense. I agree with it. I'm far from the new Matthew Berry, but I'm very I was surprised that Matthew Berry left ESPN. I'm excited to see what he does because he got me into fantasy football. I was already playing it. Funny, back in the day, my friend Sam, who I haven't talked to in years, I should probably reach out to him. But my friend Sam and I, we used to do this fantasy football where, guys, back in the day, us younglings, we did fantasy football even if we, weren't young enough, we weren't old enough. We had a Google Doc, Google Sheets or whatever, or I think it was a Word document, and we sent emails. Actually, we didn't even have a Word document. We emailed on AOL, and it was this giant thing. I had every player typed in. This is how I knew I was going to go somewhere along content creation and somewhere sports, because I had the patience apparently to do that. I still do shit like that, but you get my point. And I'm not screwing with you. I would manually score every single player every week in fantasy football. It was me versus him. We had X amount of players. I'd manually score every single player in an email thread. So, yeah, that's a true story. Pretty crazy. No, he was saying, good luck to the guys because he's not going to be at camp because he doesn't have a contract yet. You've been jonesing JE Live? Yeah, it's awful. It really is awful for the Flash people. They spent all that money, all that time, all that effort, all that money, and what did they get? Nothing. I mean, isn't that great? You work in production on a movie. You're so excited to have that on your resume, have that in your credits, and it gets canceled or it gets delayed. That sucks, man. That sucks. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think he could be very special, especially he's in the right organization to do that. Yeah, it's interesting, right? The Dolphins, I mean, I think Tua is the weakest quarterback in that division. So I think that might hold them back, but we'll see. We'll see what they do with Tyreek Hill. You got to get him involved. You paid him $30 million. I like Quentin Tarantino. My favorite is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I just think it's like masterful. It's a masterclass on cinema. I love it. His style's so out there and bizarre. Um, I hate Yahoo. Hate it. Yahoo Fantasy. I don't like it. NFL.com I've done a few times. I don't like it. I'm always I'm always an ESPN guy. I've been an ESPN guy for years. Like I just love ESPN, like the way it looks, and I'm used to it. I like their live draft room, and yeah, I swear by ESPN Fantasy, and I also do MFL. But my fantasy football league, that's for our dynasty league that we do. My home dynasty league, essentially. Shadow the Hedgehog. Yeah, looks that way. Yeah, I had a feeling that was fake, but whatever. So hopefully it didn't lag a lot. We'll be back probably tomorrow at some point. I also want to go on call in, so hopefully I can catch you guys on call in tomorrow, maybe around 4 p.m. Be sure to follow me on TikTok at JK Bogan. Follow me on Twitter at JK Bogan. Hit the subscribe button, like, and comment this video. It really does help me out because this live stream is going to turn into a video. I think we're at a good natural stopping point. It's 12:40 on the East Coast here. But really appreciate you guys hopping on. Also, I didn't talk about it, but thank God the Yankees got Andrew Benintendi. I wanted him so badly. I was in love with that move. Now just get Luis Castillo, maybe Wilson Contreras to kind of like platoon with Trevino, and I'm feeling pretty good about the Yankees. I think they're going to have a good deadline. We'll see. Just don't deal every prospect in the farm. For Soto, just don't. Period. End of story. Um, no. Not without a 3-point line. I don't know if Steph Curry is top 10 regardless. Cheater Altuve. I'm going to look that up and then we'll call it a night. So let me see. It's hard to believe that guys can even get to 3,000 hits. Like it's just something that's just crazy. But I mean, Mike Trout has got to be getting close. He's got the back condition that is going to hurt him. Mike Trout, I don't think he's going to get there. He's 30, but he's got this back issue that is really concerning. And he's about halfway there. That is concerning. Bryce Harper. Let's see what he's always hurt. That's the problem with Harper. Harper's got... Oh. Harper is a year younger and he's got like 150 fewer hits than Mike Trout, give or take. Interesting. Manny Machado. Let's look at him. Manny Machado has probably the most. Okay, and he's 29. He's good. And then Jose Altuve. He's 32. And he's got 1,800. Altuve, because he has multiple years, he had 5 straight seasons hitting over 200 hits. I don't know about LeMahieu. Oh, LeMahieu. He's 34, though. So you have to play a long time. I'll be honest. I think Machado probably gets to 3,000. I mean, Trout definitely does if that back issue isn't that bad. Bryce Harper, if he stays healthy, he's only 29 years old. You know, he's got a shot, but, you know, he's also hurt right now. Altuve is going to be a tough one. I mean, he's on a good pace, but he's got to play a long time. So, you know. Active hit leaders. I want to see this. So right now, the active hit leaders, you have Pujols, Cabrera hit over 3,000. Cano is at 2,639. Cano won't get there. He's at 39 years old. He's not there yet. He's done. Molina's not getting there. 2,000. Votto, he's at 38 years old. He's barely over 2,000. Elvis Andrus is kind of surprisingly... He's almost got 2,000 hits, and he's 33. Elvis Andrus is actually somewhat on pace with Altuve. McCutchen is behind the pace. Freddie Freeman. That's one I might bet on. Freddie Freeman could get to 3,000 hits. Because he's 32 years old, and he's got 1826. Altuve's 32, he's got 1862. But I like Freeman to hold up longer. Eric Hosmer, 32, he's got 1,700. I don't think he's getting to 3,000. Goldschmidt, 1,600, no. Brantley, no. Blackman, no. LeMahieu, probably not. Machado definitely is getting to 3. Machado is ahead of Trout at age 29. Machado is going to get to 3,000. He'll be the first one to do it. Because I think Altuve is going to pull up. I don't think he's going to get there. Yeah. The only other one that has... I mean, Machado is by far the closest as far as pace. He and Trout, and then you have Harper. Like, Bogarts has the same amount of hits as Harper. Yeah, it's... Like, Mookie Betts is 29. He's got 1,200. Castellanos is 30. He's got 1,200. Lindor's got 1,000 at age 28. I mean, I think that's probably the best I'm seeing here. As far as, like, the youngest who has at least 1,000 hits. Francisco Lindor is the youngest player who's got 1,000 hits in the league. A lot of these guys just aren't even close. Yeah, I'm looking. I don't see any like 26-year-old who The youngest, okay, the two youngest on this list in the top 100 hit leaders. Carlos Correa, 27 years old. And Andrew Benintendi at 27 years old. I think Benintendi just turned 28, 23 days ago. So, Carlos Correa is the youngest on the top 100 hitter list. Very interesting. So, yeah, I mean, I think it's clearly Manny Machado is he's 18th on the active hitter list right now. He's got 6,000 plate appearances. LeMahieu's actually got more hits in fewer plate appearances, like a lot fewer. But Machado has more hits than Trout, and the plate appearances are pretty similar. So, yeah. Machado, Trout, Harper, they should all get to 3,000. Bogart should get to 3,000. Yeah, I mean, that's really it at that point. Well, Mookie Betts probably could too, although it took him a little bit to come to the majors. Lindor is on a good pace. So yeah, I don't think LeMahieu. Manny Machado, yes. Are you doing a fantasy football league for us? If so, I'm interested. Yeah, I put it in the group chat. It's on Underdog. Best ball. Cano's not getting there. He's close. He's third, but he's not getting there. He needs a little bit under 400 hits, and I feel like he's about met his match. The guy's hitting like, what, 150? He's in Atlanta right now, slashing 154, 185, 192 with a 377 OPS. The guy's cooked. He's gone. Like, Cano is never getting that. Oh, nice. No, I don't think they get it. Stop that. Not even in the top 100. He's 28 years old. Nolan Arenado. No. I don't think Nolan Arenado is going to get it. He's 31, and he's got 1459. No, I don't see it. If Devers got to hit against the Yankees full time, 4,000 would be possible. You're right. I mean, Devers is like unstoppable against the Yankees for no reason. He's incredibly annoying. But guys, that's gonna do it. Glad I was able to answer that. Also made me smarter. I love learning and going through the all-time, not the all-time, but the active hit leaders. I had no idea Manny Machado was ahead of Mike Trout in just about the same, a little bit more, but almost the same plate appearances. But that's going to do it for me. I'll be back tomorrow. We'll have videos. We'll have content. Go check out TikTok. If you're interested, I mean, it's basically becoming a baseball thing. I'm planning on putting football out when football season hits, but no update on OBJ, sadly. Nothing. We're not going to hear anything for a while, I would imagine. But that's going to do it for me. You guys take care. I'll see you guys soon. Later.